document. Hopefully. Things work a little bit slower here. Hey, where'd my head go? There's my head. All right, so we're going to create a document for print. So let's go ahead and we're just going to go with 11 by 17 in inches. You're able to do this portrait, landscape mode, whichever you prefer. I'm going to go portrait mode here. One page, one column. Maybe actually adjust this. I'm going to say 3 columns, just actually 2 columns. We'll do a 2-column menu. Actually, no, we'll keep it simple. We'll just do a 1-column menu. How's that for being decisive? You know me, right? All right, so y'all have your sketches, finalized sketches, and now is the time when we're going to start putting things in InDesign. This is going to be really down and dirty. So at the very top here, I'm going to go ahead and throw in my word mark. Now you either have a word mark that you've drawn or somehow, some way you've got that. We'll get this into here. And I'm going to go ahead and type in the name of my restaurant, which is affectionately called Mike's Joint. And then we will go ahead and let's use the felt marker there. We'll want to go ahead and probably increase the size of this. That looks pretty good. With our character settings, we can also make it all caps if we want. Sure, and then paragraph will align center so that bad boy lines up in the middle there. And then we can go to the text frame options. And then just for sanity's sake, let's go ahead and center that vertically. There is the word mark, name of our restaurant. It's Mike's Joint. We serve all kinds of food. So your restaurant, your menu should have like, what did I say, 3 to 5 different sections. I think I said 5 sections. So we're going to create another text box. Actually, no, we won't. Let's do this. We're going to copy this by holding Alt and dragging, right? Here we go, Mike's Joint. And the first thing that we have are going to be appetizers. And let's go ahead and change the size of this, right? Because we don't want to compete too much with the top there. Let's make it 48. Sweet, and let's resize this a little bit. So we're gonna have our appetizers. Again, holding Alt and Shift. We'll go entrees. I think that's how you spell it, I don't know. We're gonna go ahead now and drag it down again. And then this would be desserts. And then this, again, dragging it down. If I hold Shift, right, it keeps things nice and straight for us. And here we go, beverages. Sweet, sweet, sweet. All right, this is pretty easy, right? This general layout of your restaurants should work for you, for your menus. If you're going to add any glyphs or do anything like that, we can do that. But the one thing I need to show you here for restaurants is going to be what's called tabs. All right, you've seen restaurant menus and it's got the item name and then the price, and sometimes there's like periods and things over on the side of it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go real simple. We will just have a single text box for now. We may change this up later, but this is going to be, what's the name of an appetizer, right? Chili poppers. I think those are things they used to be when I was a kid. Chili poppers. Let's go ahead and we're going to pick a different, let's go with Maven Pro for this. And for readability, let's bump that up maybe 24. And then we're going to have a price here of $9.99. Now, sometimes you've seen that justified over on the right side with something that looks like this, a whole bunch of dots, periods. And we're going to do that, but what you're not going to do is you're not going to do what I just did and do period, 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 dot, 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 dot. Because here we go. What do they call? Why can't I think of any appetizers right now? Probably because I'm not hungry. Cheese sticks, right? Those are cheese sticks. Maybe a better name for them, right? But if I come in here and again do dot 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 and then put my price in, the issue that you're gonna have, and maybe you see this, maybe you don't. Well, you'll definitely will if I do something like this, right? Is getting those things aligned so that that is aligned, justified over on the right side. So the dollar amount is over on the right side. Now, this is something that folks I always struggle with this because I don't do it enough to remember, but there's a way to do this where we don't have to do this nonsense. So don't do any of the periods. Just put your item name and then a space and then the price. And then if we go to window, where is our tabs window? Let's see, sometimes this is, I always have to look this back up. Is it under types? Yep, tabs. Under type is tabs. And what tabs are actually like when you hit tab, right? You get some space between things, extra character or extra space, tabbing over. That's exactly what this is. Now what we're going to do is let's go ahead and select this box here. And you'll see that if we click on the tab menu here, the size of this thing is actually what they're putting out here, 8.5 inches. This is actually the width of our box that we have. And see me dragging over here and creating a tab? Yes, y'all. That is actually, oops, we can actually put a tab outside of that. But what we're adjusting is going to be the, how do I say this? Are the tabs within this specific text frame. Not for the whole document, but for the specific text frame where we actually have stuff inside of here. So now, folks, I can't remember this. Hopefully you're watching the NFL draft tonight. So I'm going to go into here, InDesign, using tabs. I'll share this resource with you, but set tabs and indents in Adobe helpx.adobe.com. This is exactly what you need here. So I'll share this, make sure you can get to it. This dialog box, we've got different settings. A, B, C, those are the alignments. Then we have the tab position. We have the tab leader. And then we have an align and a snap feature. So let's see here. We just saw how to open the tabs box under the type tool. We can set left, center, right, decimal or special character tabs. When you use a special character tab, there's some things to consider here. But really what this tabbing we want to do, this helps us to give our spacing and our indenting. All right. The other piece of the puzzle is when we add in the dot leaders. Those would be similar to what you see in the menus when you have prices. Also in playbills when you have somebody's name and then character over on the side here. So I'm going to stumble through this because, you know me, I don't like reading things. But if I have this selected here, if I click on any of these things, I should be able to control and click or command and click depending on what. No, it's actually control on my Mac, so I don't know what it's going to be in a PC. But delete those tabs, and then I can reset all the indents. Okay, so if I come in here and let's go ahead and put in a right justified tab. So we're going to be over on the right hand side, so we have that selected. And let's go ahead and let's delete this one. And then let's go ahead and add in a right justified tab here. So if I hit tab, do you see what happens? Boom, boom, boom. Where'd my other zero go? If I add into this, that tab, then everything is right justified. So if I put in my leader, there my dots show up. Wow, first time doing this, folks, crazy. But you notice it only did this on this line, it didn't do it on the other line. So let's go ahead and get rid of this. Now if I hit the next line, does it carry over? Right, chili poppers, tab, there's all my periods, .999. Bingo, bango, bongo, everything is aligned. You look like a professional. I did that first try. Kind of, sort of. I mean, I did cheat and go look, but this is what I would have done anyway, trust me. So, I don't know what else to show on this other than, okay, if you're going to, we'll do it over from zero again, but like if you're going to actually have a section like that, definitely copy it over. Hold Alt and copy it over to your other sections. That way your tab, everything that you have set up is the same. But yes, I will actually look And I will be able to tell, trust me, if you use tabs or not, because you're going to submit to me the indent file. So again, let's go from 0. Let's delete all these things, pretend nothing even exists. All right. We are going to go ahead and put in a menu item, and I'm going to do this on an individual line instead of putting all of my menu items together, because I'm going to show you something else that you may want to play with here. Yes, class will be starting in 10 minutes, so hopefully this is done by then. Here we go. Chili Poppers, sweet. And again, let's go ahead and pick a font. Maven Pro looks good here. We'll make it 24 points so it's readable. And then we've got our price of $9.99. All right, we want to add tabs in here. So we're going to go to the Type drop-down menu, and we will hit Tabs. There's also a hotkey to get there as well. This dialog box for tabs comes up. What we're going to want to do is we're going to set the right justified tab. So we're going to set a tab where the content is right justified. So I'm going to click on that arrow, and then I'm going to just go ahead and set that up somewhere near the end. Now look at this. I can drag this around if I really want to, but let's put that about right there. And then for our leader, we're going to use a dot or a period. We could put other things in there if we wanted to. But now when we drop back down into our text field, hit tab, bingo, bango, bongo, beautiful thing. There's a whole bunch of tabs. Now those of you who may have descriptions, what I'm going to recommend is you do this. You're going to create another text box underneath here that'll give you some spacing and other options. And then let's just fill this with placeholder text, right? Something like that. Actually, not that much because that's too much. All right, we'll resize this box a little bit, and then we'll also reposition it a little bit so that we have some spacing and things kind of feel a little bit better. There we go. That's how that looks. Not perfect, but you know what? We could do some of that tweaking later on, right? Because I really don't like the hyphenation, so we'll make that go away. And then we should be able to drag that back out there and not feel too weird, right? Yeah, still kind of gross. Maybe drop it down a little bit. Sure. But what we want to do now is for our next item, we are just going to, let's do this. Let's select those two, and we're going to group those two together. And then if we just clicked one and we can drag down, let's move this entrees information down a little bit. Right now I've got my other item in here. I can go ahead and type in cheese fries. See how it stays right justified over on the price, and cheese fries with other things. So this is how that tabbing works. That tab just takes us to a specific point that doesn't change. That point is the same, and that way it allows us to do something like this. So if you're going to have multiple menu items, that would be the way to go. The one thing to consider here is if we end up shrinking this, what happens to our tabs? See, our tabs end up being out of the world that we established, so we would actually have to drag this thing back, or the text frame, and make that happen. Now, I don't know if there is a way to copy this information from one to another, but our x coordinate here, we could say 4.75, and then if we really wanted to, we can come in here and do the same thing on this box specifically. Click on the tab itself, and then that would give us the option to change it to 4.75, and we could be consistent here. Although what we run into now is our words are too big, or words are too long. That makes our ... stuff go away. But if I backspace, there we go, and this would be a way to do this to a column. So I'm going to upload this so you all have access to it. That way I don't have to show it over Zoom. And hopefully we should be able to make these menus happen.